All right, guys. So this is Kofa with Cool Things with Kofa, and I'm here in Playa del Rey or Playa Vista. I can't really figure out what the name of this place is, but it's beautiful. And I'm here with Stefan SALDIVIA. I think I just said your name wrong. Let me say it again. Stefan SALDIVIA. And actually, he speaks many languages, and he has some really cool things that we're going to talk about today. So we're going to get right into it. All right, so can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Of course. So, Kova, thank you for having me. You know, it's really exciting to talk to you after all this time. So, about me, I'm originally from France, but I've been in the United States for about 20 years. Originally came for the adventure, but ended up going to college and studying actually business and learned about financial planning through an internship. And once I realized how impactful financial decisions can make in somebody's life, I really decided to make a career out of it. So I went on to get a master's in financial planning, became a certified financial planner, and worked for many big firms like JP Morgan Chase and other big names. But I found out that I was a little bit limited about what I could do with clients. So I ended up working for now a more independent firm in Santa Monica. And I'm also very interested in talking more about financial planning, comprehensive financial planning, as opposed to just work in the financial industry where it's more about transactions.
Yeah.
So that's more about the power of money and relationships and the psychology of money. Is that at the end of the day what's more exciting than just numbers.
Okay. I wanted to ask you a few other questions. So my blog basically focuses on healthy living, eating well, doing different things like that. But one of the things that I guess am curious about is, what is your take on people that are either moving in together and trying to figure out like how they're going to deal with the financial stuff, and people who are thinking about getting married, just all that stuff? Because once people start thinking about, I guess, getting their finances together, like, they really don't know what they're doing, and that can cause a lot of problems in a lot of relationships. So what are your recommendations for that?
It's a very kind of a touchy subject, because I think first when you meet somebody, it's very tough to talk about money, and it's not really the initially what you want to do. But pretty quickly, as soon as you see that things are getting a little bit more serious, could be a month, could be 2 months, and as soon as you're talking about living together, things of that nature, you really want to talk about, okay, what is your plan? Do you have a plan? Meaning that, do you have a goal right now? I mean, what are you trying to do with your life? Are you trying to save for something? Are you changing careers? Are you trying to, just broad terms about really the direction of that person, and then share that with the person about your own plan in that relationship. And then when it gets a little bit more, factual, and you really want to talk about specific things, then maybe the financial topic may come along, as far as, okay, how much money maybe do we need to save if we want to buy a house, and but this is a step-by-step process. I would say that first you have to kind of defer a little bit the conversation, not to be too strong about those issues, because they're very powerful. Some people may be turned off completely when you ask them about their financial situation. Like, hey, let me see your credit score.
Yeah,
that could be
cause
tough.
a problem.
That could be causing a problem at the first date, at least. But like I said, as soon as you see like things getting a little bit more serious, I think it's worth start talking about goals and plans.
Okay, so I am a lover of technology, and I guess I became a lover of technology. I guess I've always had it, but then when I dated your friend for 5 years, he's a software engineer, I kind of really got excited about it, and it took me into mobile app design. So what would you think about a mobile app that was, I guess, geared towards people being transparent about their finances? So like, if they, I guess, partnered with Credit Karma, and then you can have your credit score there, but it just has to be super serious. And then of course everybody has to go through some type of verification process of like how much money they actually make. Do you think that will be invasive, or do you think that people actually go for an app that kind of does that?
So invasive as far as sharing it with somebody?
Yeah.
Sharing the information. We live in an age where we have to get over it. We have to get over all this privacy kind of things we grew up with, and hiding things, because at the end of the day, the more transparent you will be, with yourself and with people, I think the faster you will get into more genuine situations. So I think what's going on with technology is that it's accelerating the pace of like, okay, let's get real. And so basically, to answer your question, we have to embrace technology. Every tool, can, like an app can be a great thing for helping relationships, as long as obviously you use it.
So, in regards to yourself, what are kind of the tools that you use for yourself that, because a lot of people will be like, okay, well, he's preaching this stuff, like, how does he apply it to his own life?
Well, I applied by being a financial planner, number one. So which means I'm wired to talk about money more often. I'm wired about planning. So for me, it's all about planning. As far as using things, it's very, very simple, actually. We just have let's say a goal for the year, which comes to vacation, maybe on track for savings for down payment for a house, for example, and basically just having a lifestyle that we enjoy, such as being healthy, eating well, and other things. So it's not very complicated as far as tracking it. But so what I do in my case is a lot of discussions. I think once a month I always say, we pick one day per month where we just go over like the budget. We go over what we're doing. Doesn't have to. Usually it's on a Sunday for like 1 hour, and you just like an open discussion about, are we on track to certain things? What do you think about do you still like your job? Do you think you want to change it? And I'd rather do it like just at a specific time once a month than just talk about it randomly, because when you do that,
It's
very
consistent.
Yeah.
And
Well, and
also
also
kind of thinking
yeah.
about that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
And they know it's coming.
Exactly. So it's very emotionally charged. If you like talk about, I hate my job, in the middle of the day or before going to bed, which is the worst. So I think again, being proactive about, okay, let's talk about this kind of heavy subject, but we set a date, like let's say at the end of the month for 1 hour, and then we go over some stuff like that. So you prepare for it.
Okay, so for people that are married and they're looking to figure out how to get themselves, just depends on how the marriage was set up in regards to like their finances and stuff like that. What will be any recommendations that you'll give to people who, I guess, are trying to figure out how to be better with their finances so that they can grow towards whatever goal that they're seeking to obtain?
I think gaining clarity about what you're trying to do is the most important, mindset, because from there you can really organize your finances and have a priority. Unfortunately, we all get distracted every day by so many things. We pull in many directions when it comes to spending money, goals. So I think one thing that would be good to do for clarity is just find time, peaceful time, to either meditate, either to go on a long walk, by yourself, and just really do like a little bit more soul searching and really trying to listen to your inner voice about what's important. Because once that's clear, you can control easily everything else. So I go back to that. I go back to like health and fitness for stress management. I go back to like finding time to, again, whether it's meditative time or just writing things for yourself, and really coming up with something that's very deep, and then create your own plan from that insight.
Okay, so we switch angles, guys. So if you see that he looks a little different, it's because we did some little tricks there. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Anyway, so what will take place when someone books an appointment with you for the first time and they don't know anything about what to do? What should they expect?
So for me, as a comprehensive financial planner, what I first do is what I call discovery process, where we go over simple things like, okay, what do you do today? What's your career looking like? We go through a budget analysis. We go through a little bit of like, maybe a little bit of net worth analysis, and then we really try to establish goals. So the most important thing in my process is to really get into, goals, and the most common goals are like buying a house in 3-4 years. So saving for down payment, then maybe look into buying, something else. Maybe that's important. But retirement is another very common goal, probably the most common goal, that even if you're young, it's important to think about what retirement means, which doesn't necessarily mean not working at all, just means, maybe slowing down a little bit and being less dependent on financial, kind of not stress but obligations. So I think that that's the most important part of the process. Again, talking about goals. Once that's pretty clear, we're going to like crunching some numbers and really trying to understand what the financial mechanics of how to get to the goals by using obviously some investments and things of that nature.
Okay, so I guess what will be for anyone that's, I guess, in college and they're trying to figure things out, and they're between the ages of, I guess, 18 to 27 or whatever, because that's kind of like the college student age all the way to 29, I guess. What are things that they should be thinking about, like, so that they can prepare for being an actual adult?
Yeah, that's a tough one. Sometimes being adults doesn't have much to do with age. I mean, some people are very mature at a younger age.
Yeah.
But when you're between 18 and 27, I think you have to make important decisions, which is mainly career. Obviously, finding the right path is crucial. So I would just really make sure that you maybe try a couple of things before jumping to something too quickly. Through internships, things that I always say the best way to find out about if you like something, just do it with somebody, and it could be over a weekend. It doesn't have to be like a long commitment. But I would just test different things, and at one point, if the vocation is there, that'd be awesome. But if not, I think an 18 to 27-year-old person may have to understand that it may take longer to find something that it's more resonate to what they want to do at certain at a certain stage in their life. So I think it's not about being impatient. A lot of younger people jump into things very quickly because they think that if they don't do that, they will miss the bus. But it's not the case. I think you may find yourself later on. But as soon as you find that, the idea is obviously to enjoy the career, and also being, obviously, as a financial planner, being a little bit aware of the importance of saving some money. So you can't be spending all the money or getting into debt, because if you do that, you will run into the wall, and you also will have limitations later on about what you can or cannot do. So very important to save, even if it's a little bit, as soon as possible, because again, it's a habit that it would be very hard to unlearn bad habits with money.
Okay, so I've seen that you host a lot of different cool events with your organization. So can you tell me a little bit about those events?
Sure. I mean, I work in an environment where we do events almost monthly. It's a client appreciation events. We just thank the people that are part of our community by throwing some parties where we bring a DJ, food, people. At the end of the day, it's a lot about connecting people. I think that's what's powerful again about my position is I meet a lot of people, and I want to be a connector. I want to be resourceful, and doing events is the best way to do that.
Okay, so I'm going to wrap it up. So is there any advice that just, I don't know, random advice when it comes to money, health and wealth? Like, what advice can you give, or what's your last, wrap up words?
3 things in life that will always be the most powerful kind of foundation of everything. It's health. Health is number 1. That's something you need to get control of as soon as you can. Then after that, you have the wealth, which is basically just simply the financial tools to get to having control over what you want and do not want to do with your life, right? So that's the wealth aspect that also it takes a lot of discipline, because again, we're very distracted and inclined to spend money that we shouldn't spend. And the last thing I'll say is finding a purpose is crucial. So if you have those 3 things in your life that you can control, which is your purpose, your health, and your wealth, you'll be resistant to 99% of the problems out there, and you should have a very decent and happy life.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Stefan. I'm so happy to have interviewed you tonight. And you guys can check him out. I'm going to go ahead and add all of his social media information at the bottom of this video. And I feel like you guys should contact him, because this is something that's very important, not just about you had to tie it all in together in regards to your finances, your health, and everything, because without one of the three, you're going to have some type of problem. So thank you so much, Stefan.
Thank you very much.